This is Movies in Contemplation with Jarokk and...
Oh, am I talking to you?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hello, contemplators.
Y'all, we did it. We survived The Exorcist.
You survived.
I survived. We did it.
This is going to be so just interesting because just the whole backstory alone with you involving this movie interests me so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a way, like, this is kind of your episode too. Not only is it a Cali pick, it's a Jarokk experience.
Yes. Ooh. Yes.
Yeah, a Jarokk experience because you've never watched this. Why are you dipping your lollipop in the wine, sir? What is wrong with you? Ew!
It's fucking good.
That sounded horrible. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, this is a great one. Okay, well, yeah, let's dig in then.
Yes, we're doing The Exorcist.
Obviously, Cali pick.
Yes, the original
Exorcist.
The original Exorcist, 1973. I was gonna say 2, but boom. The book came out like a year or two before the film. And it, the book is by William Peter Blatty. This book was, it skyrocketed. This guy, he was a comedy writer. Oh. That was his thing. And his, comedy career writing, wasn't going, that well. He was writing, he wrote for, one of the Pink Panther movies. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know what? Let me just try something completely different. Mm. And he heard about this exorcism that happened back in, what was it, the 40s?
Was it the 40s?
40s or 60s. Yeah. I mean, because you know a little bit more about the original, particular exorcism.
Yeah, and well, it's funny because we were talking about it, and that's just what it was. So, yeah, it's crazy. I only know a little bit. I don't know when the actual thing happened. Mm-hmm. I was talking to my dad, and I think he was trying to tell me, it happened. Because I was like, did it happen, before you? He was like, hell no, it happened. I think he made it sound like it happened in, the 60s, but I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I guess I should have remembered when I looked it up, but I don't remember.
No, that's fine. But let's, before we, because once we get into it, we're going to get into it. Let's do the wine. We got something just a little simple. It's kind of like our go-to.
Yeah.
I don't think we've used it for an episode before.
I didn't know if we did or if we didn't, but...
I'll have to double check, but I don't think we did. But this is Apothic Dark. Mm-hmm. This wine normally is very well priced, but lately it's been popular, right? And it kind of has been
I think all the wine's gone up.
All the wine has been going up,
all the wine's gone up.
A lot more people drinking this year.
There used to be a lot of shit used to be on sale, and now it's...
Yeah, not the many sales.
Yeah, it's going up now. Not too many sales anymore.
But this wine, it is really, really good because it is so dark. It's a red blend, and we're talking about some dark shit, so...
Dark shit, dark wine.
Dark shit, dark wine.
Yep. Dark blood.
It's to our liking. All right, next we've got...
The handy dandy Shakespearean notebook.
Book. All right, I got musty, fat-kidneyed rabbit sucker.
Ooh.
Musty, moldy, stale, a bad smell. Fat-kidneyed, gluttonous, rabbit sucker, very young, unweaned rabbit. That's a weird little insult there.
Musty, fat-kidneyed rabbit sucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Stale, smelly, gluttonous, unweaned rabbit.
Fucking weird, man. Jesus. All right. Well, Cali, what does this movie mean to you?
I know you've been dying to ask this question.
Jesus.
It's this movie, I don't want to say, it doesn't really have, a deep kind of, meaning to me. I just find it so intriguing because, first of all, it scared the shit out of me.
What's going on?
I'm telling you, man, I don't know if it's... Is that him?
Yeah. He's
Opie is staring at Jarokk right now because Jarokk's he's sucking on a blow pop, and Opie just keeps doing these, like...
They're just, yeah, I'm sure they're hearing
like
it.
these... He's doing these, like, deep yoga breaths. He's doing this ujjayi breathing.
Me fucking dogs in the beginning. You better back up, bitch. Just kidding. I love you.
It's kind of cute. It's kind of creepy. Because it did. I remember it really scaring the shit out of me when the like re-release came out with like the whole like director's cut.
Oh.
I went on a date to see it. It's like a random movie date to go on, isn't it?
That's pretty random.
Yeah, I didn't pick it. It was like in high. I was like in high school.
Well, I guess not. It's scary movies.
But like, I feel like later on down the line, see, I think this is what this movie does to people because there's this whole idea around it that it's the most scary movie in the world. It's the scariest horror film.
No.
That it gets talked up so much that people really, I think, see it as thinks it's scarier than it actually is.
Yeah.
Because it's not a horror film.
No.
And that's what made the film so amazing, was because when the book did really well, as I was saying before, and of course people wanted to make a movie into it, and the writer, William, he did not want to find someone that does horror films. I feel like this is what makes certain things great. Like, Blatty wasn't a horror writer. That's what made it so great, is that he wasn't trying to create this like ooky, spooky, scary book. He was pretty much just telling a story about a child that just so happened to be possessed by a demon.
Right.
You know, like and he wanted a director that was going to do the same thing. And William Friedkin, we're going to call him Billy because they're both named William. So
Okay.
William's the writer.
Billy's
the director. Billy! He was more of he would make documentaries.
Yeah.
That was more his thing, and that's what William liked about his style. And they pretty much went for it. Billy was he was obsessed with making this movie perfect, and it got to a point where it really did, it pissed a lot of people off. So many people were overworked and just stressed out because he was wanting perfection at every turn. But in the end, it worked out because the film was the number one film. I was watching a few documentaries about it, and there were videos of people waiting in lines just to watch this, and people fainting, coming out of the theater crying. People were puking. People were just so terrified of this film. And it's it's the 70s, so I mean, a film like this, I guess, has never come out like this before, and they made it look so real. And that's what really fascinates me about the film now. I found we talked about it on a different episode, but you brought up how I've been listening to.
Oh yeah.
It just randomly popped up. The audiobook with William Peter Blatty reading the entire book. He is amazing. He doesn't really do voices, but he does it to where I can really depict what character is what. He doesn't just do everything in a monotone, and he really actually gets into it. And the book, there's of course a lot more details in the book than there is in the film. So it was really cool to just really get to listen to it, and it just, I don't know, because I know you were always talk about being terrified of the film.
Yeah, and I guess I should share why. But you know.
and I've always wanted to rewatch it at some point, but I knew you were scared of it, and there was a part of me that was scared, but then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I need to watch this because I've been listening to the book. And yes, it is scary, but in a totally different way than people are saying, even without seeing. They need to see the movie to really know what exactly is scary about this film. Now, what about this film made you so scared of it that you avoided you never finished the whole thing until we watched it together?
No. So when I guess I had to have been 12, maybe 12, let's say 12. I was watching it at home, and I remember my dad was working at a particular car dealership, and he got home late. And I was the only one, I think, home. But he comes in and he was like, hey, what are you watching? And I was like, The Exorcist. You want to watch it with me? And he goes, hell no, but I can take you where it happened. he started kind of like telling me, he told me about the hospital and like all the shit, that it was a real story and this was real and it was really something that, and I was like, knowing that this actually happened freaked me the fuck out so much that I was like, I can't watch this movie. And then I tried years later when I was in high school watching it. And I remember getting to a particular part, and I told you this in the movie. I was like, this is as far as I got. Because I didn't even hide the fact. I was with friends. We were watching it. It was when the priest was jogging.
In his dream
or whatever. You see that black face. And that was when I was like, guys, I can't do this. I'm going home. I didn't even fucking lie. I was straight up like, this is, you're just creeping me the fuck out. I'm leaving. I'm not watching this movie. Goodbye. Everybody have a nice night. I fucking left. And I was like, nope, paid it. So, yeah, and it wasn't until you. And then it was like, and then after, the day after, we were talking to my dad and my mom again. And it was like, he was just like, yeah, it happened, the house and everything. He was like, well, I'm sure the house is torn down now, but this all happened in St. Louis. You know, he was like, didn't the movie tell you that? And I was like, well, it takes place in Washington in the movie. So it's like, and again, I guess that's, I don't know, we were kind of talking about that. Like, why did he make it, is it maybe the family? I don't know. You know,
yeah, it
why,
could be.
It's based off of the real incident in St. Louis. And God knows how many other exorcisms in the fucking world. I don't know.
Yeah. He just so happened to just be like, well, I just decided to, he changed the location in Georgetown because he went to college there, so he knows the area. And
I guess that would make sense too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so being a writer really shouldn't write about a place he doesn't know about.
True.
And he just changed it to a little girl because, I mean, I guess if you can agree, like an innocent little girl seems a lot more scary to me than a boy. I don't know why.
No, I totally get it, and especially at the time, I guess you could say, because it's a little girl. It's like most fathers, you know, whatever, it's like they're protective of the little girl. Like a lot of families aren't exactly, I mean, I'm a good example. I was the youngest boy. I mean, my mom was very like, get out of here! You know, life jacket on! It was like, no, but it's like at the same time, it's like everybody's like, I was a boy. I let him go do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Boys be boys.
Yeah, who cares what he does? You know, and then it's like, but with the girl, it's like, don't you dare do that, you know? Oh my God, she's thick. Oh my God, you know?
Yeah.
I guess that it just made it more.
Yeah, and I just like that they say that, like, it's not a horror film, it's a film about faith, a detective story.
It's a film about faith, a detective story. It's a psychological fucking
well, when you think, faith
fest.
being
right,
like, faith, and
you're right.
You're someone's struggle with faith, that is definitely psychological.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
And there are a lot of things that I wrote down that were in the making. I haven't really decided like how I want to do it. I guess like I'm gonna say now like the interesting things like behind the scenes. But the director and the writer William and Billy, they had like a good amount of like disagreements. Yeah. Even to a point where I think, because they did get really, really close, but there were times where they, like, really disagreed and they, like, didn't really, like, speak for a little bit. But there was certain parts of the film that William wanted in the book that Billy was like, no, it is not needed. And the number one thing that Billy, they were talking about, I was watching this interview, it was kind of like the two of them just kind of like having a conversation, but it was kind of like an interview. And Billy kind of just caved in, and for the re-release of the film, I'll put in the scene that you wanted me to put in. And the scene was when Marin and Karis were doing the exorcism, they were taking a break, and they were both just sitting by the steps. Mm-hmm. And in the original release, that's all that it was. It was just a silent moment of them just like, oh my God, we just did this one time and we have to do this over and over and over again. Yeah. Holy fuck. And in the book, Karis asks Marin, why this girl? Why did this demon choose this girl? Marin explains it and blah, blah, blah. And Billy was just not like, we don't need it. It's right there. We don't, like, he's someone that doesn't like to spoon feed people.
The Billy was the director?
Billy's the director.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, we did not need it. But another interview is like, he's my friend, and I just gave it to him. I put it in the scene, and that's the version we saw was the re-release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You saw the re-release? Was that scene in there?
Yes, yeah.
Which scene was it? It was when they were
taking a break from
the
exorcism.
Okay.
And
right. When they go outside in the room and they're like, oh.
They're on the steps. Like
Yeah.
Some really crazy shit behind the scenes like happened.
Really?
Also, like a set burned down.
Jesus.
While they were filming, nobody knew why. Like, there's no, like, they were not able to identify like what started the fire. 9 deaths in a year happened. Like, people like behind the scenes in the film, like the director that played, not the director, the actor that played the director, Burke. He died after like filming or something, and people that were like behind the camera, someone's newborn like died like in childbirth. A guy that was a maintenance person, like they passed away. Like 9 deaths in a year, that's a lot.
Yeah.
When you think like that, we're all involved in one film.
Oh yeah.
Linda Blair. We didn't really say the actors' names, but if you guys don't know, Linda Blair plays Reagan.
Yeah.
She was like legit.
Max
von Sydow, Elaine Bernstein, Lee J. Cobb, Kitty Wynn,
Jason
Miller, and what was I saying? But Linda Blair, she fractured her back during the scene. They had her. She was like saying that they strapped her in this like girdle corset type thing. Mm-hmm. For the scene when they were like whipping her like up and down that bed.
Yeah. And
there were those screams that she was saying, like those were real. Like her back was killing her.
Oh my god. And
a lot of things that happened that were like happy accidents, they used in the film, and it like kind of pissed off some people. Linda like ends up like hurting her. It was her like low back. It was like not just like an injury that went away. Like it almost forever like hurt her. Yeah, from being thrashed everywhere. Ellen Bernstein, she really hurt her back in the scene when Reagan like hits or slaps her mom, Chris, and she falls on the floor. She grabs her low back. That was a legit reaction because in the documentary she was saying that she was pulled with like a wire, and the first time they pulled it, and it worked really fine. And I said to like Billy, like, you need to be careful because this I can really get hurt. Can you please have them not like really hurt me that much? And
who was that? That was Ella Bernstein.
Ellen Bernstein. Bernstein that played Chris McNeil, the mom. Yeah. And Billy's like, yeah, no. Just we won't go that hard. And then Ellen was like, I turned around and I just felt Billy look at the crew, that the guy that was pulling me, give it to her.
Jesus. There's
that. And she didn't like permanently hurt herself, but she did like go to a doctor and a little bruised up and whatnot, but she got better. Billy used a gun to stimulate the actors.
Jesus. To
get a legit like surprise out of them. Jason Miller, that was Father Karras. Oh, he was funny in the documentary. He like the scene where he's listening in on the recordings he did of Reagan as the demon. Mm-hmm. He was listening, and then the phone rings, and you see his like head jerk to the left.
Yeah.
Fucking Billy like popped an actual gun.
Like fired blanks or some shit.
Yeah, like
Jesus. Really
close to his head, and fucking Jason Miller was like, "You fucking." He was so pissed.
That's like my reaction.
Yeah.
You fucking bitch.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with you? and another, I feel like poor Jason, he got like fucked with a lot. The part where the pea soup gets, like the vomit gets shot in Karras' face, it was supposed to hit his shirt. It wasn't supposed to hit his face. And the soup was kind of hot.
Oh no.
And that his reaction, that was legit. Like, what? Like, fuck. This poor guy. He's just like,
God, I'm about to fucking spit out my wine.
Yeah, it's really funny. And I guess one last thing I'll mention. The guy that played the priest that was like kind of friends with Karras, he was one playing the piano at the party. He really wasn't an actor. He was like an actual he was a real priest, and he was giving Karras his like last rites or whatever they do.
At the
like,
end,
would you like to make a confession or something? But they did that scene, that moment, like 15 times. And Billy's like, this isn't working. He's just like, I have done this 15 times. Like, what else do you want out of me? And Billy's like, do you trust me? And he's like, yeah. Whack. Billy slaps the dude in the face. He's like, go. And then the guy's like, it just gave me this jolt of like adrenaline, and where I'm doing the hand thing with the cross, like his hand is shaking, like that is a real shake that my hand is giving me, because I have this big whole adrenaline rush that my body is just like in like shock, and it worked. He did a good job.
That's awesome, but at the same time, I'd like try to think like, what the fuck if somebody like did that to me? I don't even know what the fuck I would
you do. And this is in front of people, like
he'd probably break his hand for my fucking jaw, number one. Yeah,
really?
My fucking chin.
Really?
Yeah, I got my fucking Bruce Campbell's chin. I got my Bruce Campbell chin.
Is that what you have?
Fuck no, that's why I have a beard. Men with beards have fucking weak, puny fucking chins. That's why we are able to grow these wonderful, massive fucking mammoths on our fucking face to hide the fact that we have weak, bullshit, bubble fucking chins.
Nubby chin.
I look like a fucking Lemony Snicket's character when I fucking shave.
I just feel so bad. It's like you have a non-existent chin.
I hate it.
It just dissolves. I feel so bad for you.
I hate my chin. That's why I'm like, you know what? The fucking chin hair, I don't care if I ever have to shave anything, the chin hair stays. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck I would do. I don't know. I mean, obviously I would probably continue, but I think I would slap his ass back.
Yeah, as soon as you're done, like, okay, thanks.
Do you trust me?
Yeah, do you trust me?
Do you trust me? Ooh, damn.
That was a good nap.
That was a great nap, wasn't it? Fuck me. Hope I just popped the fucking speaker. All right.
God, where do we go from here, though?
I don't know. Honestly, this movie is pretty fucking straightforward about
it is really straightforward. Okay, so pretty much we all know what.
Oh no, nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, it was I love the whole Iraq thing. I don't fully understand why that was needed. Like Father Merrin, the movie opens with him digging artifacts.
I don't know.
And he's in Iraq, and
is there anything in the book that explains this shit or what?
Not that I remember. Like nothing stood out that I'm like, oh, okay, I see why.
Maybe it was just for the fact of because they were like he was looking for religious artifacts or some shit. I don't know, and he finds that devil thing.
That devil statue with a huge like.
The dogs were fighting.
The funny thing is like the devil had this huge schlong that looked like a serpent.
Oh.
Did you not see the big dick?
No, I didn't see the big dick.
It was huge.
No, but I mean that's.
And it makes an appearance around the end of the film. I mean.
The dick.
The statue, but yeah, the dick.
Oh yeah, the statue does.
No, just the dick.
Just the dick. That's what he sees when she's like,
yeah.
She's displaying this big fucking cock.
And she's like stretching, like she just woke up from like a really long nap.
Fuckers broke my back.
Yeah. Oh
Fuck
God.
me, Kara.
Fuck me. God, this is horrible.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's horrible.
That is bad. It was really weird seeing her as like a child and just fucking let Jesus fuck you.
Yeah. Well,
like, oh my God.
Linda Blair was like, people would ask me all the time, like, how are you okay, like, saying all these things? He's like, well, it's not me that's saying it, it's Reagan. She was like a professional, this 12-year-old chick.
You gotta love some of these fucking kid actors, man.
That
some
just,
of them are,
they clock in and they fucking nail it.
Yeah.
If that's how she was, and she was like such a trooper. She never complained, and Linda Blair was like, I just would I was pretty much there just watching everything around me, like because she was just always there. You know, like a lot of, yes, this horrible thing was happening to Reagan, but she was watching everything and how it like affected like everyone else's characters, so it was almost like she was just an observer of watching these characters go through. You know, when she's 12, it's like, how, you should understand. Yeah. But the one that did the demon voice, Mercedes McCambridge, she's like an Oscar-winning actress. Her voice, Billy wanted her, when they were thinking of like a voice, like immediately, because first they tried to like manipulate Linda Blair's voice, and it wasn't good enough. They wanted someone that sounded like androgynous.
Yeah. And
he thought of this actress, and I listened to this interview of the actress. That's her voice.
Like in Jed, that's her voice.
That's her fucking voice.
Oh
the only thing that they did to like manipulate it, she would she fed herself whiskey, raw eggs, and chain smoked to get more of like a gritty sound. But that was it. That really made it worse. But we should play it for this episode. Like we got to put a pin on that and add it in here.
Everybody can from this second forward. That isn't hard.
Because
what
the interview, just the interview, not even like the
oh.
demon voice, just listening to this actress, like she was perfect.
Yes, that's what it was like when I was doing it.
Yeah.
Blowing smoke out of my vagina.
That's me and friend.
Oh.
Inside joke.
Inside joke. I'm sorry, I'm not in on this joke.
Oh, hello, Annette. We're just blowing smoke out of my vagina.
That's when we pretended to be old women once, and those were our voices. It's more like a Harvey Firestein.
That's what I was about to say.
On,
I was about to say,
on.
yeah, that's...
Maybe that's what Harvey Firestein does. Maybe he chain smokes, eats raw eggs.
Maybe. And now his voice is fucked.
Yeah, the Scotch tape and redhead's eye.
All right.
But the movie switches, and we meet Chris, McNeil, and Reagan. Reagan's this... She's a 12-year-old girl.
Cute little thing.
This cute little thing with a little piggy nose, rosy cheeks, just, loving life.
Yep.
And Chris she's an actress, and she's like a pretty like famous actress,
yeah.
so they got like money and all that. But Reagan isn't. I wouldn't say she's like a spoiled child.
I wouldn't say spoiled.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
but yeah, they're in Washington.
she's 12 and has a babysitter. I mean, that says something. But I mean,
yeah, I feel like Sharon was more like. I think she was everything. She was like Chris's secretary, but also like watched over Reagan. Like she was just kind of like I don't know, like an au pair. She lived there and just kind of helped around. They had like other servants too. They didn't really say in the film, but Carl and the other chick, they were married.
I figured.
The old couple that was like the cooks and the kind of servant guy. He was like the chauffeur as well, kind of thing. Yeah, they were married. They didn't bring it up in the film, but in the book they do. And they bring up a couple really interesting things in the book that they don't bring up in the film, which I find interesting, but I guess it could have been a little too much exposition. Yeah. Nothing can kill a show like too much exposition. Well, how about bad subject matter? Or a bad title even. That can kill a show really good. You're in town. I always think of that when I think of like exposition and like nothing can kill a show like too much exposition. And fucking young Sally or little Sally. That's the thing, they build up this. You see this, like, cute, adorable family, and fucking Reagan finds a Ouija board.
That's fucked.
That's fucked.
That's fucked. I would never. But those were popular, weren't they? They were, and I played with one.
You should not be playing with such things.
I did. I played with one as a child, and I talked about it in our one episode.
Yeah, you did.
I talked about it, but it's like, oh my god, the fact that they were just, to this day, so easy to just, get.
Yeah. It's just weird, but...
Leave the afterlife alone, man.
Yeah, we kind of preach that a lot, but it's true. Yeah. But it's Mr. Jangles.
Or what was his name?
Captain Howdy!
That's right. It's
Captain Howdy! Yeah. Chris wanted to play with Reagan, but the little needle dial thing on its own kind of moved away from Chris.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
That's like... And I think, like, Chris is also hearing some, like, noises upstairs in the attic, and she thinks it's rats. Yeah. Whatever. But I love...
No rats!
No rats! She's like, oh, Captain Howdy. I asked the questions, and he answers. Yeah, he's real nice. Captain Howdy, do you think my mom's pretty? Captain Howdy? Captain Howdy, that isn't very nice.
What'd he say? Just
nothing. He didn't move. He didn't even say no.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, right?
In here with us.
And there's something that keeps happening. Reagan's window keeps opening on its own. Like the mom, like even the opening, like throughout the film, like you just see Chris coming into her daughter's room and that fucking window is open.
Weird.
Yeah, really weird. Chris, she's filming a scene, and director Burke, he's always like really drunk. That's like his thing. Like he just drinks a lot. But we see a priest, a very dark-haired, intense-looking priest. It's Jason Miller. Chris, in the film, they show that, like, she, like, notices him because there's, like, always a crowd. Mm-hmm. You know, people film. It happens in LA a lot where people are filming something and, people always want to, like, go and see, like, who's there? Is there someone famous? And Chris kind of just sees Father Karras just kind of around. The creepy thing is when the music starts.
Oh, yeah.
When she's walking down, like, it's a pretty fall day. Those little, like,
I'm surprised we didn't hear that music more off through the film.
Like, you don't want to milk it too much.
Well, I mean, that was pretty much the only time you fucking hear it. I thought that, I guess I originally thought that song was when Max von Sydow's character arrives to the house. That's what I always thought. I mean, obviously, I never got there until...
You did not.
So I always thought that would be the song, that song started at that moment. So I was always, like, surprised when I saw it there, and then it was like, okay, we're not seeing it anymore throughout the film.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing.
Because I think when Max von Sydow, that's when it should have probably got there. But after watching the film, they kind of do shove all of the scare factor shit in the beginning.
In the beginning?
I think so. I think all the scarier shit happens pre-fucking Exorcism.
Pre-Exorcism. Oh, yeah, I totally agree.
I can't help but say that the Exorcism was pretty fucking lame.
Yeah, it wasn't as scary as I remember thinking that it was. Maybe because I've seen so many clips of it that I'm now, like, kind of, like, desensitized to it. But, like, the other stuff I don't remember seeing. Yeah. And it's just...
So I guess watching the trailer, I think, as, like, a kid or something.
Maybe.
I think that I always assumed that when the girl was... Like, some of the scarier fucking moments, honest to God, were in the hospital.
Yes.
That was some of the scariest shit, especially for me. I was like, oh my God, those sounds, fuck. But when she was, like, walking upside down, like that spider shit down the steps, and when she was... I thought all that was the night of the exorcism. I thought, as a kid, like, this is all happening that night they are trying to fucking exorcise this chick as she gets the crucifix and she starts fucking herself and it's bizarre. I thought all of that was rolled into one. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know until watching it with you now, actually finishing it, that they literally, like...
Spread it out
so fucking much. And I can't help but say that kind of disappoints me a little bit.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because I guess for me, I find it more strong because I don't know. I guess because it's like your daughter just fucked herself with a crucifix. She stabbed herself bloody all over the fucking place. I can't help but think, wouldn't social services get involved? Like, wouldn't all of these things be like, your daughter's a harm to herself and other fucking people. She's going into a fucking, she's going into a hospital whether you like it or not. And I know that that's probably story-based, and it's fine. That's great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, man, you're spreading all this shit out. Doctors aren't listening, which, I mean, yeah, that's a given. Most of them don't. But, not bashing our doctors. We need them now more than ever. But, when the doctors aren't listening to her and all this shit, I don't know. I just feel like the stronger thing would have been if it happened one night, all of that shit's happening instead of, we had this creepy scene happen, and then all of a sudden, we got this other creepy scene happen next day. This is happening next day. And then it's like, then finally we get to the thing that we think is going to be the scariest fucking bit in the goddamn film, and it's literally her on a fucking bed just,
suck him off, Karras, suck him off, Karras, suck him, Karras,
that's literally all it is. It's just that bit of, I cast you out! I cast you out! Well, that's literally the rest of the end of the film. Still scares the shit out of me, but I mean...
I can see where you're coming from. Part of me kind of disagrees because if it happened all in one night, that would be a lot. But just, I think of, like, the mindset of everybody. Like, especially, like, with Chris and, let's say, like, Reagan. This is going on for a while and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And how much it's fucking with them. That's why it's like, a test of faith kind of thing. And... this isn't something that just happened one night and she's going through one horrible, horrible night and then where she's possessed and then the next day she's not. This is going on for, like, who knows how long.
Yeah, I guess I get it.
It's like, it's a slow fucking.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
not. It's
guess
not a
I
one night.
would've
It's not a
wanted-
one night stand.
I guess I would have wanted more, from The Exorcist than... Or, The Exorcism.
Sism.
You know, I guess I just wanted more. Like, when she gets out and then she's floating above, it's like, oh, the power of Christ! It's the power! It's like, that's all? That was it? Like, we had all this amazing well, I don't want to say amazing. But we had all this terrifying shit happen. And then, like I said, we get to the build-up, and then it's just like fucking... tongues. There's just tongues.
Yeah. Well, also in the book, the exorcism isn't that. It is.
Was all that other shit in the book? Like, fuck me, let Jesus fuck you, and
Yeah,
all that shit? That was all in there?
yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. The exorcism was a very small portion of the book. I would say out of a 10.5 hour long audiobook, the exorcism was like barely an hour long. So I think that was the purpose of the whole thing.
I guess in a book aspect, I could probably be more like forgiving for the fact that accept the fact that all of that shit happened. Because that shit's so terrifying. I don't know. I just can't help but think, like, your daughter just walked backwards on the fucking stairs, spewing blood out of her fucking mouth.
Well,
and
it's
you're
also
over here-
denial too. I think denial, and also like
Denial?
denial of that it's something that she doesn't believe in. I mean, and you have like all these doctors pretty much saying,
I know he saw the bat. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, you gotta put yourself in Chris's.
I'm putting myself in everybody's fucking shoes in this goddamn movie. We had two doctors that were there. The bed's fucking freaking the fuck out while they're there. Well, she's freaking the fucking... And then the fucking doctor's all like, okay, Reagan, fucking slaps the shit out of him.
Keep away, the soul is mine.
Fuck me! Fuck me!
Oh my god! No!
She's like humping her, like...
Yeah,
God,
it's so
horrible.
fucked up. And then the other doctor's just like, oh, and then they grab her, so you fucking stick her with the needle, and then the fucking other doctors come out, and she's like, did you not see what just happened? And then the one doctor with the glasses is all like fucking, well, that's what it is. Strength can happen. We've seen it in cases with mothers who have their child under a car. They get this feat of strength to pick it up, and that's what we're seeing here. What the fuck?
Well,
Does a child spazzing the fuck out on a goddamn bed? The mom even said the bed's shaking, and now the mom's fucking psychotic. It's like, what the fuck, man?
But that's why, like, Chris was arguing with them at that point.
Right.
Like, did you not see, like... And, of course, they say, oh, let's do another, like, EKG or whatever they do. Like, and those... You were saying, like, the... things in the hospital that were happening. Like, those machines in the 70s, like, those fucking medical things, holy fuck, they were huge.
Yeah, that shit was terrifying.
Just, like, putting needles down her fucking throat.
Yeah, letting the blood
Like, in the
squirt.
blood just spew, and then they just, like, tape her fucking chin, and just hear bang, bang, bang. You see this poor little kid just, like crying.
Yeah.
And
Reagan, you're gonna feel something wet and sticky.
okay.
Well, that's what the guy said.
He said wet and cold, but okay, whatever.
I just made it creepy. I'm
You
sorry.
just made it creepy.
Well, this whole fuck... We just quoted a fucking child demon saying, Christ, fuck me! Fuck me! And me saying sticky and wet. Yeah. Whatever, dude.
Okay. Fine, whatever.
I'm
Who's
fucked.
the fucked one here?
Who's
I
the
don't know.
fucked one?
I don't know. I don't even know where to go
Let Jesus
from
fuck
here.
out.
Oh, God,
But-
I gotta stop that.
Yeah, we're gonna get like totally flagged for this.
I mean, let it happen. I mean, it's the movie,
It's
though.
fine. This is the movie. This isn't us, you guys.
Wait, wasn't there... Was there a... I might have been talking to my dad about this. Was there, like, a... did the church, like, rebel against this a little bit? Do you know? Because I think I talked to my dad, and I think my dad said that the church was pretty much against this film.
I don't know, but they had people that were in the church that were there helping, and they're like, if you're going to do a movie about this, you have to do it right.
Jeez.
So, in their eyes, whoever they had, they did it right. It wasn't anything against the church. If anything, the church was the hero, if you kind of think about it.
Well, I mean, yeah. I that's just what I heard. It's not verbatim. I don't know. I can't remember if I heard that or not right. I don't know. But I just know that... I don't know. But the church has always been against a lot of films.
Yeah, they're always gonna want to,
But if they had like legit priests and shit there on set, and we're just like, yeah, if you're gonna do it right, do it right.
Yeah, they always want to swing their dicks at something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one thing that I found weird that they didn't, like, it was so matter of fact, was when the church in the film, that statue of Virgin Mary got, like, desecrated. Like, it had the tits and the blood and the penis.
Yeah.
And the detective, I honestly would mind talking about the detective a little bit. Because
let's do that.
he actually kind of, like, really interests me because...
He was confusing as fuck in the film.
I
hope there's more to the book.
Oh, he's in the book a lot more. I like that in the book, I don't think the film, I don't know if it was the actor or just the fact that his part was cut a little short, but the detective, he had a way of, when he spoke with, like, Chris and the father, because this was after Burke dies. He falls off that huge flight of stairs that are by Reagan and Chris's house, and the detective, I mean, everyone else was more like, oh, he's always drunk. I'm sure he just fell down the stairs. And the detective was like, how was his head able to be turned completely around?
Yeah, somebody
from
really
falling.
fucking strong pushed his fucking head. And you
Or
see
he fell.
That's fucked, dude, because I've seen that in more movies. And that's in End of Days. There's a death like that where Satan fucking, in End of Days, Satan kills one of his fucking disciples by turning his head all completely around.
Yeah.
He breaks his fucking neck and it goes all the way behind. Oh god, all the way behind his fucking head, and it's like, oh my god, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, because, like, the detective, he thought at first possibly that, like, the desecration of the church and that death was connected at first, because he read about, like, witches or like sadists and whatnot and their type of rituals, and he goes to Father Karras too, because Father Karras is not only a priest, he's also a psychiatrist, and he's written papers on that very subject. And he was talking to the detective, found Karras, and they were talking about it because the way his neck was turned completely around, it kind of had to do with something that would happen during some of those rituals with someone's head turned completely around.
Wait a minute, that should happen in real life? They found people's heads turned completely
No,
around?
I'm saying that the detective has read up on rituals and whatnot, and something like that has either been done or he's just read about it. But the detective, especially when he talks to, like, Chris, he makes himself sound like a little more inexperienced and a little dumb. He's like, well, this is a case that is, it seems pretty cut dry. It wasn't a murder, but you know what? We always gotta just go with a fine-tooth comb and everything, and, it's just a matter of fact. I don't need to be a bother, but, like, he just sounds like he's, at first, like, God, this guy's really annoying, but this guy's really smart, the way he's, like, playing it. Because he, like, goes through, like, the scene of the crime, and he looks at Reagan's window, would be the perfect place to fall out from and then fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
So that's why he goes to the apartment, and of course he can't talk to Reagan because she's, like, heavily sedated. And, it's a 12-year-old girl. Like, he's and it's fun and it's cool in the movie because we're at this point where Chris, she's listening to the detective, and you can see it in her face. She's like, could she possibly have done this?
Yeah. Because
from the shit that I've been seeing with her, at this point, I don't know. And she almost is like, oh my God, like, maybe, like, she probably did do it. But she's not going to turn in her daughter. And, all the doctors, they want to fucking put her in an asylum, but you can't, like, really force a child unless the parent says no.
In the asylum?
Yeah.
I don't know how that shit works.
Like, it has to be like
I don't know.
a parent.
Nowadays, I feel like fucking social services will come to you in a fucking heartbeat and be like,
yeah, but, like,
fuck you, we're taking the child.
Well, I think maybe, I don't know, if she got,
I don't know.
If she did get, like, convicted of Burke's murder, I could see possibly something like that, like a some type of mandatory
Yeah.
something.
But I guess at the same time, though, like, even the detective, at least in the film, I don't know about the book, but he was even like, your daughter even being in the room with him, there is no possible way that your daughter could have been the one to fucking turn that man's head all the way the fuck around. This had to have been somebody fucking strong. Like, you know, it's like...
he's just...
So I think the daughter was already off the fucking cards there, even though she was sick and showing mental, you know, psychosis, if you will.
Yeah.
Some kind of psychotic behavior.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like she wasn't... I guess he was playing the game of I just don't know.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I just don't know. He even, like, in the book, because he, like, plays with because Reagan, she's, like, a little artist. She likes to make little, like, clay objects and whatnot. And in the book, he picks up, like, a bird, and he just, like, it says in the book that he, like, kind of, like, rubs his thumb on it. But then when he leaves and goes back to the car, he actually scrapes parts of the clay, it's a bird, and puts it in a little envelope, like, for evidence. So I think he did kind of, like, suspect.
You know what makes sense now in the movie for me? When he was brushing the shit at the steps, I didn't even put that fucking 2 and 2 together. I thought he found, like, because in the beginning of the film, we found that little statue thing of that Karis or Karen or whatever the fuck Marin found, and we see that little statue, and I was like, oh, that's what the detective found. That's the devil's work. But now
Did you hear me? I said, no, it's not.
No, I was freaking the fuck out. I was scared. So, but yeah, now it makes sense that was one of Reagan's little figurines that went out the fucking
one of
window.
Her little,
And that's why I guess he was fucking with it, and he was fingering it and putting it in an envelope for evidence.
Yeah.
I want to see what kind of paint she uses.
Yeah, is that acrylic? And also, in the book, the detective starts to question Carl. Because you remember Burke at the party where Reagan pisses on the rug, you know, you're gonna die up there. Burke is fucking with Carl because he calls him you Nazi bastard.
I guess he's German.
He's Swedish or something. He says, like, he's not
Swedish.
German, he's like, he's Swedish.
Hey, yo, Swede!
Yeah. But, he's under the detective's radar because Carl kind of like lies about where he's going, and it's really weird. So, like, Carl is actually, like, a suspect because him and Burke, like, constantly butted heads, and even Carl says in the film, I'll kill you!
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but that's me with the detective. He was interesting, and he was also, like, a big, like, film movie buff.
Yeah, that was, like, a little out. I mean, not out of, you know, I just thought it was like, where's all that coming from in the movie, I guess.
Well, I think it kind of connected him with Chris because she's an actress.
Yeah. Hey, you want to go to lunch?
Father Karras likes movies. They talk film a little bit. Yeah. Like, they like movies, and I think...
Anybody tell you look like Paul Newman? All the time.
Yeah. I would know it's you because you look like a boxer. He was a boxer. I guess we can talk about Karras a little bit. Father Karras. He's a psychiatrist, priest he's losing his faith.
Yeah, I mean,
like, he's like lost it. Yeah, his mom was really sick and alone, and the mom's brother like put her in some mental institution. That we don't get too much of that. It's just something that happens, and then the mom dies, and he's broken. He's just broken. He's this poor broken man. And he even like asks his like higher ups, like, I think I'm done. I need to be like reassigned. I need to like. I'm not worthy of wearing this collar or something. I don't know. But yeah, and like, it's interesting to get someone like that involved with Reagan, seeing something that's so crazy and horrible that it's just really, his character is so sad. Yeah. You know, and in the end he sacrifices himself. Yeah. For Reagan. Yeah. I honestly think he was like, kind of, I don't want to say he was like done with life. I don't want to say that he was like maybe suicidal. I don't know, but he really didn't seem like he had much. He didn't feel like he had that much to like live for anymore. Right. I don't know. He's kind of a mystery.
I think that is a good kind of pinpoint, but also I feel like at the same time, because he just kept on asking, right? And I think even you touched on this. He was like, why this child?
Yeah.
Why this girl? Why is it after her? But it was so bizarre because even in the film, and again, this is like, I guess good on storytelling, but it was bizarre because it's like, we have this priest who, now, mind you, when he first goes to talk to the beast, was probably one of the like most interesting.
Oh, really?
Moments. Well, there were a lot of honestly interesting moments, but I found that really interesting because he's like really trying to play psychiatrist, like or a psychologist.
Yes.
He's working it. He's all like, "Oh yeah, how are you?" And she's like, "Hello, Karis. Your mother's in here with us, Karis. What's my mother's maiden name?" In time. Or whatever the fuck. Oh no, that was when he moved the.
Yeah.
That was funny.
When he opened the drawer, like, was that you?
Do it again. In time.
In time.
Why? Do it again. In time.
And he starts speaking like Latin and then French. She's like, the plaza. Like that.
Yeah. How will we know she's possessed? If she starts speaking different languages she doesn't know.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, Karis, you said, like, he legit goes in there like a psychologist. He is talking to someone that is mentally ill and not good.
3 personalities apparently inside of her.
3 personalities. And one of them, and it's, oh God, a little off subject, but, okay, so the crucifix scene,
stabbing.
that, William Blatty, he came up with this scene because he was like, what would make a mother of a child? It's raining again. Every time we record, it's either raining or we got fireworks going off.
Well, and it's creepy that the 2 fucking scary films that we do.
We've done this year.
It's fucking raining.
It's raining
and storming and whatever, and it's like fuck. At least there's no thunder in this particular one.
I'm a little disappointed that there isn't any thunder. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, now it's gonna blast at the very end.
Woo! Yeah. But he, like, the writer was like, what is the worst thing that a mother could possibly see her child do to make her go to a priest and ask for an exorcism?
That is true.
Because that's legit what happens. And also, like, Reagan's, like, transformation, they went through, like, 6 different types of makeup. And I've seen some of the tests for her face, and they were goofy as shit.
Oh, really?
Like, one looked like a scary little, not even scary, like a witch with, like, with your kind of eyebrows.
Oh, thank you.
And, like, this, like, crazy kind of hair.
These big bushy fucks.
Yeah, there's those big bushy wings you got going on. You can take flight at any moment. Stay flapped. Another one, like, kind of made her look like, almost like, not like a ghoul, but, like, they just made her face look, like, a little schlumpy.
Yeah.
And, like, really oversized, like, lips. But then, like, the director was just like, no, not good enough. And they just decided to go with these markings that she did herself with the crucifix. And just that the wounds just kept getting worse. These lesions, they just were getting, like, thicker and just oozing. It's like a bad cut that just never went away.
Yeah.
That never got healed or treated. And I mean, I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
It looks great. But, like, just, like, think about it. Like, an innocent 12-year-old girl, like, this is a demon forcing her to masturbate with a crucifix.
Right.
And having the mother witness it.
Yeah.
And putting the mom's face in her genitals, like,
lick
me.
That was fucked.
That's fucked.
I'm
sorry, I'm not a believer, but possibly I might go to a priest after that if that happens.
I mean,
and then her fucking head. That's the first time we see her head turn around, and she sounds like Burke. You kind of pointed out, like, you know what she did, your cunting daughter.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what she did?
Yeah.
She killed Burke.
It did. It sounded like Burke.
It sounded exactly like
You know what she did? Your cunting daughter.
Yeah.
And then the fucking, you see Carl her oldest daughter, and then
It's not. Why
fucking-
do you call Sharon the oldest daughter?
I don't fucking.
That's
think
not her
that's what she
daughter.
is.
That's her assistant.
Well, whatever, man.
Sharon is the assistant.
Well, I wasn't talking about Sharon. I was talking about the fucking maid. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, you're not.
I know Sharon's the daughter. So they're running to they're just like, oh my God, Chris! I mean, Mom! No. Hey, Chris! So they're running to the door, and then the door just shut.
No, well, it's
fucking.
the chair.
Yeah.
Like, what? Oh my God.
I guess I would have wanted to see more.
What
Because it's
more
like,
would you want to see?
I don't know.
How sick are you?
I don't know. But honestly, like, I mean, yeah, all of this shit freaked me the fuck out. Okay. So it's like you got that moment, you got the fucking you got all of that, and then it's
It's fucked on its own,
it's
man.
fucked, I know, but I guess what I wanted to see was we had this moment, it's like the door fucking slams, the motherfucking dresser goes against the fucking door, it locks her in, and then all of a sudden it's just next scene, she's got big ass glasses on walking down the fucking street. I guess I wanted to see, how'd you get out? I mean, I don't want to be spoon-fed per se, but I want to know, how did you fucking get out of that? You were just in this terrifying situation. I'm pretty sure that the goddamn dresser didn't just fly back into its place. What did the old fucks and that fucking child, what were they able to do to get you fucking out of there while your daughter's still going batshit? You know what I mean?
From what
don't
I
know.
remember, and they already showed it before. It was when she was getting thrashed around the bed. The doctors were there. They kept injecting her with drugs to drug her up. And Sharon knew how to, in the book, Sharon knows how to put needles in too. She taught Chris how to do. That's pretty much what they had to do. They were pretty much fighting her.
Right.
And just drugging the shit out of her. Like, we didn't need to see another drugging.
I didn't want to see another drugging, but at the point of, you just gave me this climactic fucking moment of dressers flying and all of this shit happening, and we got the genital...
Records breaking.
The records flying, genital fucking dive bombing. I mean, I don't know. But we see all this shit, and then all of a sudden it's just cut next scene. It's I want to see what happens. I want to see... I want to see what was the struggle of trying to get Chris out of that situation. I don't want to see fucking, don't give me something like that and then not let me know what was how did you get out of it? It's just like, oh,
but
yeah.
But you know how you're, reacting now? What if, that's what they... what if that's what they wanted? They want you to keep asking questions.
I guess. I don't know.
You're spiraling right now, and maybe that's what they wanted. I don't know.
Let this fuck lose his mind because this is a real story, and let's make him think that...
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, I mean, yeah, the real exorcism was, 3-4 months? Like, the real St. Louis exorcism took 4 fucking months.
It took months.
And even they said that in the film with, what's his name?
Marin, when he did an exorcism in Africa, it took 3-4 months.
It damn near killed him, Father.
Damn near killed him.
Your excellence.
Yeah.
Whatever. So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What was the creepiest scene to you in this film? What was the creepiest fucking scene for you in this film? We're kind of all over the place, but it's kind of like, I don't care.
It's fine. I took more notes of scene by scene, but I really feel like this film really doesn't need it because I don't know. I'm kind of liking how we're going with this a little bit. It's a little off the wall, but we're touching good stuff here.
And I mean, I blame myself because honestly, I
don't know when to shut the fuck up. I got you.
Pour the wine.
I'm not done with mine yet, speedy drinker.
Motherfucker. Fine.
Have some water.
Fine. Do your notes.
No, we're far from.
Okay, well, back to
now.
whatever back to my question.
Okay, what was the scariest thing to me? I cannot pinpoint. Well, it used to be those demon faces. Those used to scare the shit out of me. My younger brother pranked me when it's one of those videos where okay, just look at the tree. Just keep looking at the tree, and then half a second later you hear boo, and that fucking demon face that Reagan constantly sees when she's in the doctor for the first scene, and she's just laying there while he's whatever shit she's got going on, and she's just like, her eyes like widen open, and there's that fucking face. That shit is scary to me. And I just think, and I agree, I think everything in this movie is pretty like fucked up and creepy. And yeah, the exorcism, it's, to me, I don't know, maybe because it's been, a lot of people have done like parodies of it.
Yeah. Exorcist.
Exorcist. I cannot believe that.
I gotta fuck the hell out of your daughter.
Oh my god. Like, do I even want to look this up?
It's
an actual exorcism porno.
It's interesting.
Do I even want to? But it's been joked about for so many years. Like, the exorcism itself, I agree, it's not scary. But I don't think it was
meant to be.
I don't think it was meant to be. If I could seriously go back in time, be a young person or even whatever, and watch that film with everyone and see the reaction that some people were having, would I have the same reaction? I don't know. Yeah. I just think the film, I don't know. I think it's just interesting. Yeah. I don't find it. It's really, it's creepy and it's fucked up. But now that I've really have dug deep into it, I really do believe it's more of it's not a horror film. And that's what when they brought it back to theaters, they said, oh, it's the scariest horror film ever told or ever done. That kind of made it look cheapen it down a little bit. I don't really, I love horror film. I'm not saying horror isn't cheap, but I just think it's so much more than that. It's just so psychologically fucked up.
Yeah. And it's the idea of the fact that this happened.
And that this shit actually happened.
Fucking happened. And that's what's just fucked about it. And that's what's that hospital wing was fucking torn down in the late 70s in the St. Louis, whatever the fuck hospital it was. I don't know when they tore down the house, but I'm sure that was demolished. But it's oh man.
And one thing I find interesting is that it was the doctors that first brought up doing an exorcism.
Oh, that's right, in the film, yeah.
In the film and in the book, they call it it's a force of suggestion. If Reagan truly, in Reagan's mind, she believes that she is taken by some demon, if we do what it's almost like they're kind of making fun of exorcism because the Catholics are the only ones that really talk about it. They don't really talk about it, but they still somewhat practice it, but they are still kind of embarrassed about it or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like you can see the air quotes, an exorcism on Reagan. We can suggest the demon out of her. Yeah. Pretty much.
And then she'll believe it. And then
she'll believe it, and then she'll just snap out of it.
Right.
That's interesting to me that they're the ones that brought it up, and of course Chris is are you saying you want me to take my daughter to a witch doctor? Even she sees it as something ridiculous.
I love the one doctor's face, bitch, we've done everything.
Exactly. You got 22 doctors in the fucking room.
We pushed her with pharma. We did all this. We did that. We fucking did a goddamn...
Looked inside her brain.
We looked inside her brain. We even waited at the last fucking minute to get a psychologist. She grabbed his dick, gave it the old dick twist.
Oh, God. Oh, the hypnotizing scene.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if they say it in the film, but certain things, happened that... and one of them was the hypnotizing scene. So it happens, and... The demon thing, whenever is in Reagan, it comes out, and it's it grabs the one doctor by the balls. But in the book, the doctor's you know what? I didn't really hypnotize her. I put her under hypnosis.
You said that in the book.
In the book, and in the film, and even in the book, they say Father Karras, when he first meets with Reagan and the demon, he does the holy water thing. It wasn't holy water; it was tap water.
Right.
But Reagan still was "Oh, it burns!" Ah! So that there's still little things that happen that make people not believe that Reagan is actually possessed. So it's was it the demons plan or what? I don't know. Isn't that weird?
That is weird. And I will say that when he was listening to the tapes, and then the speaking backwards, and it was
Marin.
It was like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, why was the
are
demon
we mentioning
asking,
Marin all of a sudden?
The demon was asking for Marin by name.
And I don't know if that was in the book. Was that in the book? Was that
yes.
a thing?
Yes.
So I don't know. See, I don't know. Like, I don't remember Exorcist the beginning too well, but I know that that took place with Marin in Africa, I think. But so I don't know if that was like a plan. If that was like, we're gonna have, when we make the other films, we're gonna bring in more story about Marin. But I don't know.
Well, from what I watched, a lot of people tried to have a lot of like Exorcist movies like happen, but like the writer and the director, like they really weren't interested. Like they did the second one with Linda Blair, but the writer and the director were not. They didn't want it. I don't think they liked the script or something. But the writer did the third one, and I believe, if I remember correctly, he directed the third one too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
That was the Gemini Killer one, right?
The Gemini Killer one, yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, this film makes me want, because I've never seen any of the other ones. Most of them, I don't know, kind of seem a little dumb to me.
I've only seen the beginning and Emily Rose.
Yeah. My brother said that one scared him the most, but he's younger, so I don't know.
I mean, that one, when I watched it, it wasn't that scary, but I think there was something that happened in the movie at 3 a.m., and it was weird because I watched it with our dear friend Drusuf, and when we were back when it came out, and we were up, and something weird happened. I can't remember what it was. Like the TV turned on randomly, and it was like white noise. It like happened at like 3, and we were like, "What the fuck?" Like something weird like that happened, and we were just like, "Oh my god!" And then we like went downstairs, and we wanted to like see if it was one of his brothers. But his one brother was like passed the fuck out, who we watched the film with, and then his older brother wasn't even home. So we were like, who the fuck has the remote? Like, what's going on? And we were like freaking the fuck out. So that was like the only thing that I took away from that was creepy.
That something happened.
That something happened after we watched the fucking film. And it was like, what? But again, it was not like, I don't think it was that creepy from what I remember. Because I barely remember it. And the only thing I remember from the beginning is the hyena scene. That's the only thing from Exorcist at the beginning that I remember. That was pretty creepy on its own. But
yeah, the third one is on Prime. I would like to give that one a watch, because I watched another like YouTube video on some guy who's like blah 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 reasons why Exorcist 3 was the best of all the Exorcist films.
Yeah, I don't know. I never watched it. I want to watch it because Chucky's the Gemini.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, and also Jason Miller has a cameo in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in a kind of a creepy way. From what I saw,
All right, leave me back in.
Lead you back in. Where to go? Where?
I'm sorry, I fucked us. I fucked
I don't
you.
think you. I
fucked up.
I
fucked up.
Okay, please stop.
I'm sorry.
Don't you ever do that again.
Who's the scared one, you or me?
I'm not scared. I'm just creeped out.
All right.
That was just gross.
Sorry. Apothic Dark.
Apothic Dark.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see. So I'm thinking like with this episode, we've really so much like broke down characters a little bit.
Yeah.
And
well, we didn't talk about Max von Sydow that much, did we?
Well, he's barely in it. He's pretty much like, honestly, with Max von Sydow, I didn't know that he was a lot younger than he looked in the film. They gave him old dude makeup. Mm-hmm. Like, I never put that. Yeah, he was just like, why did they think? Just because he was experienced, like he was this old man that like has these shakes and just like. Why did they think that he could do it? Because obviously we don't get to see what happens, but...
And they even said 10 years ago when he did it in Africa, it almost killed him.
Yeah, 10 years ago it almost killed him.
So now he's fragile as fuck. Let's go ahead and send him. But we'll give him the young priest at the same time. We'll give him we'll give him the raging bull, and we'll go ahead and that'll protect him.
I always think of Austin Powers, fucking, I need a young priest and an old priest with his fucking
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ! That shit, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Marin, he's just, like, And it's funny because, like, the poster of the film, it's the silhouette of him at the house.
Again, why I thought that the fucking song should have been at that moment. Like, that is the picture. When you say Exorcist, the lamppost, the home, and the fucking priest in the trench and hat is the iconic fucking...
So I guess I can see how you can get the idea thinking that it's all the exorcism things are happening in one night, because when you see the poster, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That iconic, like, hat that he wears and the trench coat and the fucking briefcase of whatever the fuck is in there. But yeah, I can see why.
His holy water.
His holy water and his special cross that he kisses all the time in the book.
I haven't practiced Catholicism in a very long time.
You actually, like, practiced?
I didn't practice. Well,
we had
to go to school.
Yeah, exactly.
I was forced to school.
You were
into Catholicism, so
forced suggestion.
I'm not religious anymore, but it's like, you know, at the time, and especially at the time when I was religious and watching this film, it was like, yeah, that's definitely even more fucking freaky, because it's like, yeah, you know, God and the devil, and obviously this is the devil, and this actually happened, and it's like, you know, I don't know, but it's weird shit.
Yeah, and they don't name the demon until the second film. The name of the demon that possessed Reagan is Pazuzu. And from what I heard in the second one, they name dropped the shit out of Pazuzu, and it, like, gave the demon, like, less power in a way. Like, it's like, okay, Pazuzu, yeah, we get it, that's the name of the demon, Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
Yeah.
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
Yeah. Doesn't it sound like a fucking, like, that does sound like a musical theater character.
I'm Pazuzu! I am positively evil! I like jete across the stage. Santa Claus versus the devil.
And I have that. I have that on VHS.
I find it interesting because when Marin... Okay, we can stick with Marin for a second. Marin comes in, and Karras, he just, like... He so badly wants to, like, give Father Marin, like history on the girl. Like, I want to give you a little backstory on the girl, like, and how many of the personalities there are, right? Yeah. And I found at least 3, and Marin's like, there is only one. And that's the demon. Like, he does not want to hear any, like, type of medical history. He just knows this chick, this little girl is possessed, and that's the only thing that needs to be cast out. And my question is, Karras, did he really think that he was... Because we already saw that he was really going through a lot of shit. And the demon was already, from, like, even before the exorcism, brought up the mother. His mom freshly died. Yeah. So he's still, like, dealing with it. Did he... I was like, did he think that he really was psychologically capable of assisting Marin with the exorcism? Or did he, like, not know what he was getting himself into? Yeah. Because it got to a point that the demon was saying, you're the one that killed your mother, you let her die, you left her alone, and and Karras was like, shut up! And the demon even made itself look like the mom sitting on a bed, like, ghostly and, like, alone, and even the demon was
Demi.
like, Demi, why you do this to me, Demi? Why, Demi, why? You're not my mother. And it got to a point that he couldn't take it anymore, and Marin's like, get out. Yeah. Like,
I gotta do this alone.
You're benched for a minute. But, like, I don't know. Like, I wondered, I think he probably just didn't know what he was getting himself into. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I don't know. Well, I think you're right there. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. At the same time, though, I mean, Marin kind of says it, doesn't he? He says, I think in a way, Marin was kind of on the right track of when Karras was being psychologist and was like, okay, there's 3 different personalities. We need to know the backstory. Father, I think you need to know the backstory. And Marin's all like, no, I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know. There's only one. That's the demon that we need to force out of this child.
Yeah, that's the focus.
I think that's kind of smart in the aspect of, because if you start digging into the history, if you start really trying to say, there's 3 personalities in this child, this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. Going in blind, all your focuses, like you said, the only focus is on the one thing, and that's what Marin wanted to do. He was like, if I start trying to get personal with this thing, it's going to fucking come at me. The more I learn about it, it's going to learn about me. No, gotta stay out of that, and that's where Karis, he fucking was... Now, mind you, Marin was old as fuck, and it was using the fact that he can't physically do anything, and, you know, so obviously when Karis got benched, we know what happens to Marin.
Yeah, Marin, he couldn't physically handle it, and it's really cool, another behind the scenes, like, I got to watch, how lucky were we that someone that was on the set filmed the whole process.
Oh, Jesus.
So we got to see a lot of really cool, like, behind the scenes stuff. If you, like, look up, like, exorcism, like, documentaries and whatnot, you can see, like, the hydraulics that people had, like, to make the bed shake. Like, they made it so I didn't see any wires. They made all the effects so perfectly, except for the little things that they added in the remake when Reagan's face was kind of, like, had that little bit of a computer and little animated kind of shift in two parts of the film.
I don't know. I guess that wasn't...
Oh, in the hypnotism scene, you see the face kind of like change.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And also during the exorcism. And they made they actually like had people, like physical, like big men shaking the room to make the room shake. And they those breaths were real. They made the room so cold that the actors, that was like legit their breath. Because they didn't have computer graphics back then to be able to, you know.
So it's like The Thing, too. They pretty much refrigerated the stage.
Yeah.
Essentially.
They refrigerated like Reagan's room. They put in they just made it like super, super cold. And poor Reagan was in a nightgown, and she was lucky she at least got to wear like some long johns underneath. Yeah. Yeah. That poor girl, she got her
hers were the goddamn long johns and fucking The Thing. Plot thickens.
The plot thickens. She was the thing the whole time.
The whole time? Damn you! I mean, Reagan!
I have to go.
We have to leave
and
now.
Reagan was wearing false teeth.
Was she?
Yeah, she said as a young actress, because, young kids have to look perfect. The teeth that she wore, those were fake teeth for her to look perfect. So she was really used to like that gross tongue thing that she had, the little thing that was that with the pea soup came out and whatnot. Like she was used to having things in her mouth, so it helped her out on that end. But I guess we can go to like just like the climax of the film, and it's pretty much Marin dies. We don't know how it happened because Reagan was able to get out of her straps and the whole she completely rises off the bed,
right? But
they didn't really strap her back in very well.
Didn't Karis just try to he tied up her hands and then she
tied up her wrists.
She bashed him. She bash.
Hit him in the back of the head, and then she finally calms down and they just pretty much throw a blanket on her. But Marin's just like his forehead's on the bed, and you see fucking the demon Reagan just sitting up on the bedpost and laughing.
Yeah. I actually found it really creepy and interesting that before the laughing, when Karis walked in and found Marin lying on the bed, and then you see Reagan, the beast, in the corner on the bedpost, literally just staring at him kind of in disappointment. There was a look of disappointment.
That was a really weird look.
It was like, Jesus. And then that's when Karis went over and started bashing the chest, trying to wake him up. That's when the demon started laughing again. So I was all when I watched, I was like, that's fucking into what was the is the demon upset that this ended so soon? What the fuck? What was that about?
Because
I
don't know.
It didn't do anything. It was honestly free. It could have left the house and did all the backward shit that I wanted it to fucking do. I mean, not in real life, in the film. But, it's I just am sitting there and I'm like, man, that's actually interesting. That's actually really fucking interesting.
You know what?
What?
Here's the thing that just popped up. So when Karis is talking to Reagan the demon at first, the demon says something, and when Karis is like questioning, like, why are you here? Like, what do you know? Because the demon, like, he hates Reagan. He calls her like the little piglet, and I want her like rot. I want her to never sleep. I want her to just suffer and rot dead in the earth. But then the demon says something like, it'll bring us together. And Karis is like, you and Reagan? Like, no, us, you and me.
Bitch.
Yes.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
It wanted him.
It wanted Karis.
Oh.
In some way. I don't know why. I don't like that. See, that's something.
That's again, yeah.
We
another
don't know.
mindfuck.
Another
mystery.
mindfuck that the demon actually says it'll bring us together. Like, I'm here fucking up this little girl so we can be together. I don't know. It's really strange because it accomplished it because the demon starts laughing. Fucking Karis, like, you son of a bitch, just like grabs Reagan and starts beating the shit out of her as if she's like a grown man.
Yeah.
And then he finally says, like, come into me, take me. The demon goes into Damien. He's about.
I love that his name's fucking Damien.
I love that his name is fucking Damien. Like, how
Jesus.
fucking creepy is that? And he tries to go for the little girl because we see like Reagan's like crying, like she kind of like sounds like she's back to normal. And the first thing that Damien thinks to do is he goes through that fucking window and he falls down those steps just like Burke did. And we hear poor fucking Reagan like crying. And what's really sad, it's really, really sad because like everyone like hears the noise and everyone that's like still in the house like bursts in, and we see Chris looking at her daughter. She's like huddled in this like corner, just like crying in pain, calling for her mother, and Chris is just standing there like, how do I know if it's really you? Like, she hesitates for a good while.
Wow.
Like, not fully believing that that's her daughter yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually she finally does go over there and realizes that her daughter is back to normal, and we just see them both just like crying, and it's really, really sad. And fucking Karis, we see his fingers are still moving, so he didn't die as soon as he hit the end of the stairs.
No.
Which is really, really creepy. And his friend tries to give him his last rites or whatever, you need to confess. And
I know you talked about that in the beginning.
yeah, the guy got slapped in the face.
It honestly, yeah, that worked. So
it worked.
I know I was saying what I said earlier, and it was like, what the fuck would I do? But you're right, it worked.
It worked.
It looked really good.
It looks great.
It did. It looked great.
But it only took 16 times.
Right. All right, it took 16 times. I'm going to slap the fuck out of you, make you scared, make you mad, make you cry, and you're going to fucking nail this. Yeah. But I love that. And now, I did like when he was giving him the last rites, and he was just talking, and the only way of communication was the squeezing
Damien
of
Karis is the fingers.
Yeah, the squeezing of the hands, or do you want your last rites?
Do you have anything to confess?
Do you have anything to confess? Yes. It's like, that was like, yes. It was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah. But luckily from because Chris and Reagan, they're leaving. It wasn't like their house anyway. They were just there on location anyway. So they're going to go back home. Reagan doesn't remember anything, which I guess, which is a good thing. And yeah, that's the priest and the detective go to visit.
I do have a question.
Okay.
About when Reagan saw the collar and then kissed.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to bring that up. Thank you for reminding me. I think because Reagan doesn't remember anything, but I think there might still be little things that might she's going to need a lot of therapy.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I'm sure
there's going to be so much blocked trauma that they're not going to understand as kids, and it's going to probably come up as an adult later on. But I think she saw the collar and thought of Damien, who sacrificed himself for her. Mm-hmm. So she hugged and kissed the priest to say thank you, kind of as a way of saying thank you to Damien Karis. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, it does actually. Now that you mention it, yeah.
I'm randomly craving sushi right now. Oh my god.
It's really odd.
That is really odd. I want some.
Okay.
Suck it! But yeah, guys, that's The Exorcist.
Yeah, essentially,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Goddamn.
So what did you think? I mean, you kind of talked about it a little bit, but like closing statement on, are you like glad you finally watched it? Is it as scary as you thought it was? Was the like the more you waited to watch the movie, did it make it that much scary? Like, what's up?
All right, so let me be real. I was watching it, and I know you had a nice little laugh session with my reactions, and even got pictures.
I will post a picture of you.
and I will say
You were scared.
I was terrified. This movie really did terrify me. Now, by saying that, like I said, when I was young, I watched the trailer. I never got far enough. I didn't make it to Reagan's any fucking fits because the face scared me, the hospital shit, which, right, we talked about this.
Yeah.
One of
scary.
the biggest scary shit in the moment in this film wasn't even the demon, wasn't even Reagan. It was the fact that it was the hospital equipment. Like, what the fuck does that also tell you? Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, I was fucking terrified. Now, as an adult and thinking as a child, like, all of this happened in one night. That's what, like, I'm thinking we've got this fucking poltergeist type, 1 night, 2 night thing in a house, fucking trapped together. That was kind of like a
letdown?
I guess, like a letdown. Well, not really, but it was like, I saw, like, it was kind of like what I was saying earlier. You got the kid walking down the steps backwards, blood spewing out of her fucking mouth, and it's like, I always thought that was the night of The Exorcist. Like, they're trying to get the demon out, and the demon's resisting, and that's the shit that and then the demon breaks free and is going around the house. Like, that's what they made me think in the trailer, and that's what they made me think throughout my whole life. So it was like, when I'm seeing all this shit happening, which everything you said makes complete sense. Like, yeah, this was supposed to be days, months, weeks of shit, and it makes complete sense. But yeah, I guess just to kind of touch base, I
answer my question.
Yeah, I was terrified.
Okay.
That was your question. Like, yeah,
cool.
it was scary. I don't know if you want to ask the question. You're already gonna know the answer.
Are you gonna watch this without me?
I'm not.
Right.
I honestly, I don't know. I will tell you this. I'm intrigued. I don't know if I'll be able to do it personally, honestly, because the idea of it still, and the idea of knowing that this happened and all that shit, and it still terrifies the shit out of me. It's like, this happened, this could have happened, I don't know. But I'm interested in the book, believe it or not.
Really?
I just want answers. Like, that's the thing. It's like,
I
love movies. I know, right? Mm-hmm. I love movies, and I truly do. And I know that we didn't get all of the shit that the book gave you, and it's how it is in other things, and that's why sometimes TV shows are the better route to go, because you get more time. But there's just unanswered questions. It's like, I want to know, like, and I know I'm one of the biggest people I don't want to necessarily be spoon-fed, but at the same time, there's like I was saying earlier with that one incident, it's like, don't give me such a hard climactic thing and then all of a sudden it ends. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, I kind of want to, I at least want to see it stop.
Yeah. It was just, this horrible thing happened that pushed Chris over the edge to go to Father Karras and be like,
right,
I need an exorcism.
I need it. I got it. Yeah, I get it. So, yeah.
But okay.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Okay, let's go back to the handy-dandy Shakespearean notebook. Notebook.
Who was the musky, fat, kidneyed rabbit sucker?
The demon.
The demon? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Gluttonous. Hasn't been weaned.
Yeah.
Moldy, stale, emit bad
right.
smells.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
That's the demon.
It's Pazuzu.
Oh, why did the detective have that moment of creep factor when Chris opened the door and the detective was just staring, and he was just like,
What?
In the movie, when the doorbell rang, Chris went to the door. It was right before Karis turned, and then the detective, she opens the door, and the detective had this weird, like, snidely whiplash look on his fucking face.
I don't know. It didn't really
Okay, well, that's
catch
fine.
my... I don't know, because the detective was in the car when Karis was leaving the house, so maybe he had...
I'm talking about the end.
Yeah, I know the end.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like, he's been watching the house, and he's watched Karis go in and out of the house. So, and I'm assuming that other people could hear what's going on. I don't know. Like, how could other people not hear the banging and the yelling and the fucking...
But when somebody goes out the window, that's when everybody starts running.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, this fucker fell!
Yeah. I see blood!
Yeah.
But,
right.
what do you have for me? I'm dying to know after what I put you through.
So since I wasn't able... So since we lost Sean Connery, unfortunately, on Halloween, it is going to be a Sean Connery film. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter which fucking Sean Connery film I pick, because I know anyone I pick is going to make you just squirm. So...
It's not to say that I don't like Sean Connery. I'm just... His films have not really ever just interested me. So, yeah, I know. I made you suffer through this.
You
so, all right, what are we doing?
All right, so we're going to do one of my favorites when I was a kid, believe it or not. We're going to do The Rock.
Okay. Your mom loves that film.
Yeah. I mean, they were the ones that fucking bought it, and then I watched it, and I was like, oh my god, this is like the best
I
film.
think, no, don't mean to spoil, but I think that's something I can handle.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Well, then we're going to do The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock. The Rock is going to be our Thanksgiving week.
Do The Rock with Jarokk.
Do The Rock with Jarokk! I love that. Look at you. Trey, you. So, yeah, you guys heard it here. That's going to be our Thanksgiving film, The Rock, in honor of Sean Connery. So, guys, thanks again for joining us on this crazy fucking episode of truth and history and...
Pea soup.
Peace. And just goddamn terrifying fucking shit. Cheers, yeah. So, guys, please go ahead, leave us a like and subscribe if you guys don't mind. Seriously, that all helps us in the end. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you don't mind.
Yes, please. We are also all over the World Wide Web, y'all. On Twitter, we are movies_pod. On Twitter, we are movies.contemplation_pod. We have an email, movies.contemplation@gmail.com. And we are also on Facebook, Movies and Contemplation Podcast.
Yeah, y'all. So you heard it here next week. The Rock, Sean Connery,
Like
Nicholas
a rock.
Cage. Oh, like a rock.